hopefully we keep this pretty informal, but it's still extremely important that we do this continuing dialogue with businesses, and as well as all sort of factors of the community. As you know, we started our listening tour right when I first came in office, went throughout the district. Many of you were part of that first meeting here in Auburn. And the idea was to just try to start figuring out various ways that myself as a congressman, our office, could work together to try to, with you, to try to provide a better environment for economic growth and job creation. And I think it was pretty successful. We had a lot of good suggestions, a lot of consistent suggestions, and we wrote them down in a report that we have, and you've all been emailed it, and it's not here, but if you need a copy, we have copies of it. And it's not the be all and end all. Some people say, oh, a lot of stuff in there is fairly obvious, but you got to start someplace. And also, we have some specific recommendations that we're trying to do in federal office, both in terms of our reach out to businesses on an individual level and helping with cases, anything to try to make businesses more competitive, but also in terms of legislation. Legislation is a challenge now, but we have to begin to start somewhere. And there are some areas where I'm hoping we can get things done in Washington for you. But when I said I want an ongoing dialogue, I really meant it. And so there's two things that we're proceeding on. One is this Central New York Business Survey. It's a very basic survey. They're not trick questions in here or anything like that. But we really are trying to get to many businesses, more than could ever participate in one of these forums. But we also want to continue these forums, and particularly in light of the first report and as we move forward. So I'm just glad you're here. I want the agenda to be yours, but I will start with just giving you a quick update on the Harriet Tubman project, because as all of you know, it's no secret that one of the key areas that I believe is important for economic growth throughout central New York, but particularly here in Auburn and the greater Auburn area and Cuba County, is tourism, and specifically historical tourism. Harriet Tubman's, the property is really an amazing property, but it has not, the AME Zion Church simply doesn't have the resources to really make it a tourist attraction like it could be. And and I don't think the city of Auburn or any of the other areas really do either. It has to be a national park, I think, to get that kind of recognition. So I've been working hard on sponsored legislation that had been introduced before, but it never really moved anywhere. We were able to get now all members of the New York State delegation, including all the Republicans in the delegation, to support it, to co-sponsor it, plus a lot of other members. There has been a hearing in the companion bill in the Senate. We've also included in the park, it'll be a park with basically two geographical locations. Here in Auburn at the Harriet Tubman house and her home, and the home that she put aside for where she had the seniors home, et cetera. And then and in Maryland, where there's no physical structures, it's historical physical structures, but is where she was born and where she originally escaped and helped many slaves escape from chattel slavery in the South. So, but anyway, so we had a Senate hearing. Next week we're going to have a House hearing, and we're very excited about this. Just found out. That is pretty much the necessary step. Once we're past that, we think we're sort of rounding the turn, as you will. Doesn't mean that it's a done deal by any means, but it means that we've started to get through the necessary prerequisites. If we can, then the next step is to get the committee to actually pass the bill and then have it come to the floor. Usually these things are paired up, so you have a Democratic-sponsored part or a Republican-sponsored part to make sure everything is copacetic, but we wouldn't be having the hearing if that wasn't already true. So it's moving forward, and I think one of the things we have to think about is if we do get that part, how can we really leverage that event into something that really puts Auburn on the map in a way that, in a new way that gets people to really, to wake up to challenges here and just how it fits into an entire region full of history. So I'm very excited about that.